So, first of all, we should download Zotero. This should be a simple enough task for a majority of individuals. However, for those of you that might encounter some problems, I'm here to assist you even in this task. So, first of all, you will have to Google Zotero or just write in your search bar zotero.org. It should be the first result, and from the home page, as you can see, you will already have this download button. And you, of course, press it and you will download Zotero and you will start the installing processes in your computer. As you can see, it is available for majority of OSs, and in my experience with Mac, this reference manager is 100% the most performing and my preferred choice. Once you will have downloaded Zotero, this will be more or less the first encounter with the application. And of course, as you can see from my Zotero, I already have some folders and my library. Once you will start adding journal articles to or books to your Zotero, it will look something like this. As you can see, you can order them for alphabetical order, or you can order according to the title, and as well through some of these keywords. If we click on one, you can have what kind of item type is this, the title, you have the several authors, abstract, if it's available, of course, and you have the journal, volume, issues, and majority of the elements which you will need for a full reference once your paper or thesis or any other academic work will be ready to be done. This metadata will constitute the bedrock of your references. Zotero as a software is able to extract this from the web page where your article is situated, and it will do everything automatically, meaning that you will not have to write it down, you will not have to search for extra, and things of the sort. Of course, better sites are those which are, strictly academic and for research. For instance, some Web of Science or EBSCOhost or PubMed as well. Of course, you can modify them as you want. So for instance, if I'm saying like, oh no, this is not volume 49, this is volume 48, I can do it. Very simple. Same for the DOI, if it's not present, let's say because I downloaded it from Google Scholar, I don't have to, re-download it from another site. I can just copy-paste the DOI, and I will have it as well in Zotero. This is very useful in as much as if I want to change my citation style, Zotero will have everything already, and I will not need to change it manually. I will just have to ask Zotero to change the citation style in my paper. But I will show this a bit later. How do we actually import articles into our Zotero collection? Of course, we could do it manually, but what will be the point of Zotero? Like, the exact point of Zotero is to automate this tedious task of writing down every single metadata of your article. So, how to do this is very simple. We must install the Zotero extension for our browser. In my experience, the extension for Google Chrome is the one that performs the most. It is seamlessly importing your article from your Google Chrome webpage to your Zotero collection. And to do this, we can access the Chrome Web Store. You can do it from your computer, search Zotero in, and this is the one we were looking for, Zotero Connector. We will click on it, and we will add it to our Google Chrome. Once the extension will be installed into your Google Chrome, it is very simple to use. So, what is very important here is that Zotero will communicate to you if there is something which could be retrieved from your browser. So in this case, the Zotero add-on, it is this. It is this small unidentified element which, as you can see, saved to Zotero. But this is like web page, because as you can see, Zotero did not find any metadata about any journal article, of course, because it's just like a Chrome Web Store page. But what if we actually go into a site with a journal? For instance, I will prepare it for you. This is one of the articles I've written recently, and look at the add-on extension icon. It will become something like a document looking. And this means that Zotero was able to find the metadata for an actual article in this web page. So, how do we import it? We simply click on it. It's saying saving to my library. It is still not ready, and as you can see now, it will appear this. This means it was imported, because as you can see, like the color became like a full dark compared to before it was only sort of grayish. In this case, as you can see, we have an X here because this article is, for subscribers only, meaning that Zotero cannot access to the full text, but it can still access the metadata. So once you will import it, like Zotero will highlight it immediately. As you can see, it is of a different color compared to the other ones. And as you can see, without me doing anything, Zotero was able to retrieve the title, the authors, abstract because it's available, publication like the journal, volume, and so on. And this is the key feature that Zotero offers any researcher, inasmuch as it is so much faster to import articles into your reference manager if it's just a button away. Once we downloaded our article and we put it in our reference manager in our collection, how do we use it into our manuscript? Well, first of all, when you install Zotero, Zotero will automatically, most of the time, install into your word processor the Zotero add-on. In this case, as you can see in my Microsoft Word, we have already here the Zotero. And this, as well on the side is written, should be an automated task. And if it will not work automatically, there might be some problems with the Zotero file or with your word processor. And for that, it would be better to check the troubleshooting in the Zotero webpage, or you can send me an email and I will try to help you in figuring out your problem. So, we are writing, let's say, our manuscript and we want to insert a citation. The easiest way of doing it is to click on the Zotero tab here, and you will have Add Edit Citation. If it's the first reference which you're adding to your manuscript, Zotero will in addition ask what kind of style do you want for your citations. So by clicking Add Edit Citation, Zotero will first give you the document preferences, meaning the preferences of your manuscript when it comes to referencing style. So we have APA, 76, we have ACS, we have Vancouver, Nature, Frontiers. You can also import through Manage Styles, which are like presets made by other users for specific journals. Maybe your journal has its own specific style, and hence you will need to automate also that process. And with Zotero, you can. For the purpose of this video, we will go with APA 7, because it's the one I'm the most familiar with. And once we select it, we just press OK, and Zotero will ask through this red bar, which citation do we want? For instance, we can use the citation that I was saying before, my own article. So we will just click the first letters of my surname, and we will have several articles, or theses, and as well the one we want. So I will just click on it and just enter. And as you can see, Zotero will import this automatically. I wrote in 2021, more than 3 authors, so false it out. Here it is. And as you can see, if you click on it, this is metadata. You can still change it, of course, but this will be considered by your word processor so far, at this stage, as a metadata. Why this is important? Because, for instance, if you have to submit your manuscript to different journals, they might have different referencing styles. So let us say that I want to submit to another journal which doesn't accept APA 7. So I will go to Document Preferences. Once again, will appear this dialog here, and let's say I want Vancouver. So I will be OK, and here I have Vancouver. However, this process of adding manually this citation can be also time-consuming. For sure, not as much as doing everything without Zotero, but it's still quite time-consuming because while you're writing, you probably into your home page, you will have to click on Zotero, add edit citation, and that's precious seconds which will be removed from your work, and your productivity will suffer from it. So how do we do something simple like adding a citation with a combination of buttons? For instance, look how I'm adding references in my own word processor. I press, in my case, I chose the combination Ctrl Q, and here I have this dialog already. And I will just write it down again. Let's just change another one, use this, and here you have it. And this is much quicker than going to the Zotero page, add edit citation, and so on. How do we create a combination of keys which will give this citation automatically? So when it comes to Word, we will have to create a macro. And in order to do this, you go to Tools, Customize Keyboard, and in these categories, you will go to macros. In the search bar, you just search Zo. I guess that Zotero will be your only add-on. And we have here several commands that Zotero can do. The two which are the most needed are add edit citation, and if you want, you can have also the bibliography. In order to do the citation, as I said, you will just click on it, and in my case, the keys are Ctrl Q. But you can write whatever you want here, whatever you're more comfortable with. You will just have to press here, for instance, another, I don't know, Ctrl S, and it will tell you, oh no, Ctrl S is already assigned to this. So, of course, if you don't need it, you can use this Ctrl S, and you will just press assign. Otherwise, you will just find another combination of keys which is not already busy. So, in my case, Ctrl Q, and I will press assign, OK. And as I said, Ctrl Q. Here we'll have the dialog from Zotero, and click and just write down something and just add the references. Of course, once you've inserted these citations, you can still modify them. Let us say here you have wrote like, some whatever string of text, and this is another citation, and you're like, oh, for this piece of information, it's not only this article, but it's also another article. How to change it? Well, you just select it, you just click wherever, as you can see it will be highlighted, and you will press again your macro combination, in my case Ctrl Q, and you will have once again this Zotero dialog. And you will add another article, for instance, I don't know, you can add this article here. So you click, and Zotero will automatically order it as APA commands, meaning that alphabetical order should be in parentheses, and in case you will have, for instance, work from authors with same surname but different name, they will also, Zotero will also add the first letter of their name automatically. And in case it's from the same author, from the same year, it will add automatically like A and B after the year. And let's say, for instance, for this other string of text, I actually use like a direct quote from it. Can I add the page number in Zotero? Of course you can. Again, you modify it, and this time you click on the reference used, and you're like, page. And you will write here, for instance, page 23. And let's say you want to write also something else before, like for instance, see also, you will have to do on the prefix, or suffix, for instance, if you want to do at the end of it. And you will just press enter, and here you have your perfect reference. And let us say we are done with our manuscript and we want to create a reference list. Of course, we can create a macro for this, as we did for the adding of the citation or reference. However, it is not strictly necessary, in as much as this is like, a one-time process most of the times. So in order to do this, we just will click on Add Edit Bibliography or Reference List. And Zotero will automatically create for us this reference list. Of course, depending on the amount of citations and your computer speed, this might take more time. So as you can see, we have here alphabetical order and citations as APA recommends. Not exactly in this case, and I've chosen these references on purpose. As you can see, for instance, in the title, we have multiple capital letters, which is not what APA would recommend, as much as APA would rather say something like this. Like first, or like, proper nouns should be capitalized, and after any semicolon or colon or period, of course. And in this case, how do we change this? First of all, we will have to remove the metadata from this document. And in order to do this, we will just press Unlink Citations in Zotero. And now our citations will be just pure text, will not be metadata. In this way, it will be much easier to edit them without much troubles. And we will just, do this and, and so on. Of course, you might ask, oh, but if Zotero can't do this properly, why do we use it? In the end of the day, to modify and to double check your references is not a harder task than write each one of them manually. And also, as a personal advice for years of writing manuscripts, is always good to check your references anyway.